Yogesh Gupta. Mr. Yogesh is the head of Department for Technology Services in Tata Power DDL. He possesses vast experience in areas like utility asset management, smart grid technologies, substation protection and automation, predictive maintenance technologies, IoT application for asset monitoring, along with design and development of innovative products and solutions for substation asset reliability and performance. Today, Mr. Yogesh will talk about substation asset management technologies. So let's welcome Mr. Yogesh.
Basically, I'm covering two key technologies, future technologies related to the substation. One is basically related to the digital substation, and the another one is going to be the industrial IoT for the substation asset management. So just a brief background about the company I work in. TPDDL is basically a joint venture company of Tata Power and Delhi government, and like it was formed way back in 2002 as a part of the reform. And it is engaged in a business of power distribution in the north and northwest part of the Delhi. And like we have a approximate customer base of close to 1.8 million. And like if you look at the critical power delivery assets, we have got around 82 number of primary substations which operate at 66 and 33 kV voltage level. On the downstream distribution sides, we have around 5,000 secondary substations which operates at 11 kV level. And further, we have got around 22,000 distribution transformers which are mounted on the edge core. So like these are primarily critical power delivery assets, which is just like an artery and veins for a power system, and it provides a reliable and a quality power supply to our valuable customers base. So like when TPDDL started journey way back in 2002, so AT&C loss level is one of our key business parameter. It basically stands for aggregate technical and commercial losses. So it was something around 53%. And like if we'll talk about the reliability part of the system of the network, the system availability was something around 61%, and the SADI and the SAFI, which is a international IEEE indices for the reliability measurement, that was something around 80 hours. So as of now today, we stand at a loss level of something around 6.7%. Our average system availability is more than 99%. And if you look at this massive or phenomenal business transformation, one of the key enabler of this business transformation is attributed to the technology adoption, both in the information technology domain as well as our operational technology domain. So the key technologies what we have adopted over the time, that included our automated meter reading. Just now we have installed around 2 lakh smart meters. So this is basically for the revenue protection part of the business. On the operation sides, we already have a grid substation automation from 2006. Then we have also started automating our distribution networks. We have at the back end, we have got our advanced distribution management system. We have also have a full-fledged IT and OT cybersecurity system. So like these are some of the well-established technologies in the TPDDL, and we have leveraged several benefits out of these technologies. Apart from these, TPDDL is also pioneer, and we also experiment and do the adoption of the future technologies. Per se, like we have got first South Asian 10 megawatt utility scale battery energy storage system, which is installed at one of our grid substations. Recently, we have also moved to the community energy storage system. It is a 540 kilowatt hour system, and microgrid IoT systems are other systems we are working on. In the consumer space, recently we have also tied up with the Next Energy, and we are doing a peer-to-peer energy trading system, which is basically based on the blockchain technology. But like as today's panel discussion is primarily on the next generation technologies for the substation, so I'll just stick to my topic, and basically I'm going to share two key technologies. One is related to the digital substation, and the second one is basically the industrial IoT system for the asset management. So like if we just talk about the digital substation, it is a term which is basically applied to the electrical substations where the operation is managed between the IDs and which are interconnected by the communication network. It has become basically possible because we are using the computing technology in the substation environment. So if you look at the core of a digital substation, it basically focuses on converting the binary status and the analog measured value into the digital value. In the conventional architecture of the substation, basically we have instrument transformers, CTs and PTs, and we are just doing the hardwiring. So in the digital substation, basically we are converting all these analog and the binary status into the digital data. So the overall benefit is that this makes the data easier to transmit, and like it can be shared between the devices and the substation in the real time and even at the backend command control center compared to the conventional architecture. Digital substation is basically based on IEC 61850 protocol and as a concept of the process and station bus. So like we have partially adopted, we don't have a process bus in all of our grids, but we have got a concept of the station bus. And there are few advantages when we compare the conventional substation automation and the one with the digital substation. So I will just share a few of the benefits of a digital substation. The first one on the list is it requires very less spaces. We operate in a Delhi, so getting a space is a huge constraint. So it reduces the substation footprint something about by 50% through a smaller control room. The second part is we can attain the reduction in the copper cabling, which again has got a cost implication. Further, we don't have to build the civil trenches for laying the conventional copper cable. The third key benefit, which is very important for any utility, is the interoperability of devices, because like we have got a multiple devices from the different vendors. So like it all works on a standard communication protocol of IEC 61850. So interoperability is something that also gives us advantage in terms of managing the spares for the future requirement. The second part is the flexibility. It offers the flexibility wherein we can deploy the new applications, and also we can unlock the new revenue streams. Like we can integrate many things like the EV charging on this digital substation. Communication is key part. It is very fast as entire architecture is based on the fiber optic. And the fifth part, the reduced engineering work, because there the drawings are quite simple compared to the conventional hardware drawings. So the engineering work is reduced and troubleshooting and all part is quite easy from the operation and maintaining these assets. So like these were some of the tangible benefits I have listed for the digital substations. Apart from these, there are some other non-tangible benefits. The first one is there is a personal and equipment safety which is enhanced by the digital substations. There is lower fire hazards because these copper cable, they are prone to the fire hazards. So in the digital substations we have all FO networks, so there is a very less hazard related to the fires. So what I personally feel, these are the benefits which are surely going to drive the digital substation technology in India. Perhaps if you look at our central transmission utility, which is Power Grid, so like they are going in a big way for the adoption of the digital substation in the India. And like in our ecosystem, majority of our substations are on station base, wherein like all bay control and the protection, they are on 61850 compliance. And recently, for our two new upcoming substations, we have adopted the complete digital substation architecture, including both process bus and the station bus. So like post our operational experiences in Delhi environment, because like we have got certain concern related to the pollutions and the failure of the IDs and the relays. So like once we have gained that confidence, we will fully migrate to digital substations. Like there is another one aspect whenever we just talk about the new and the future technology, it is basically the people capability, the people who are going to basically handle, operate and maintain this. So like it also goes in parallel, because if you have a technology but if you don't have a people capability, maybe like after 1 or 2 years, like you will be at a very tricky situation. So we have a very structured training framework also just to keep us future ready for the state of new technologies. So like that was just a brief about the digital substation. And my second topic is IoT based asset management. So like just as all we know, industrial Internet of Things is basically about connection and the communication between the machines. Using sensors and internet, the machines can be connected with each other, and they can also transmit the data about themselves and these status. So the connected asset basically provides the framework to enhance operation, and also it provides the opportunity to monitor the asset for the safety purpose, for the reliability, and for the compliance. But it also offers a platform wherein we can manage our assets for enhanced utilization and the protection. So like if you look at the TPDDL technology landscape and ecosystem, all of our primary substations, basically we have got both air insulated substation and gas insulated substation. They were automated fully and they are controlled by a central load dispatch center through an advanced distribution management system. Just to give a brief background about our ADMS, it is basically a back-end integrated application software, wherein the SCADA part, distribution management system on the 11 kV level, and the outage management system, all these three system and the technologies, these are integrated. And one of the good thing about the ADMS is we can also do the substation asset maintenance through the ADMS. So like there are many provisions. So if you look at the critical substation asset, the power transformer is one of those critical and very capital intensive assets. For the power transformer, we can do the real time and remote monitoring of the OTI and WTI temperature. In case there is a load violation alarm, so we get a proactive alarm at our centralized control station, and accordingly just we can take the necessary corrective action. For the breaker, like the SF6 gas is a dielectric, so in case there is a leakage in the breaker, so automatically we get the alarms and a lockout alarm from our field devices. DC system is very critical for any substation. So for the DC system, we can just observe the under voltage, over voltage, whether there is any charger failure. So all these critical substation asset parameters, they can be monitored on a real-time basis at our ADMS system. But like apart from these conventional monitoring of the parameters, there are certain substation, and like within these substation there are certain assets which are very sick, and so gradually what we have done, we have also add on some sensors just to have a very good and a very comprehensive monitoring of our critical power delivery assets. For the power transformer, we have just tested with our online DGA, and we have got a thermal sensors, and on back of these things, like we also got an intelligent algorithm wherein like we can just compare the current and the load profile as well as the thermal signatures, and we can just detect any anomalies which are happening in our field assets. For the switch gears also, just we have collaborated with the ABB and Siemens, and we have got a very good dedicated IoT systems wherein we are monitoring the thermal parameter, thermal profile, as well as the partial discharge, which are at the cable terminations. And these combined with the ID's data, and these data are basically sent to a cloud application, and from that we just can detect any anomalies and do the comprehensive asset health monitoring. So IoT, basically just now we were talking about our primary substation. So when we come to the distribution substation, the challenge for the utility basically lies in the distribution substation, because the networks are very spread out and it is geographically spread out. Even sometimes the cost of the distribution transformer is not very high, so we cannot invest very high cost solution for these low value assets. But again, like these assets they are installed close to the customer, and any failure in this asset will ultimately lead to the loss of supply to our valuable customer system. So within secondary substations, we have around 400 of the substations which were automated basically in terms of tele-monitoring and tele-controlling. But apart from these conventional automation, we have also developed some low-cost IoT solutions. Basically, one of our key challenges was related to the theft of the distribution transformer in certain geography, which are like prone to the theft. So like what we have done, we have developed a very low-cost IoT solution, so which basically has a GPS and a thermal sensors. And these sensors were installed in the LV bushing of a theft-prone distribution transformer. So like in case there is any theft attempt, it detects the supply failure and just it immediately sent SMS to our security center, which is centralized, as well as to our local field. So with this IoT system, we have saved something around 10 to 20 odd distribution transformers, which were prone to the failure. Further, like the thermal sensor and associated back-end application, it also triggered alarms, like in case there is any hotspot in distribution transformers. So like automatically we can get an alert at our centralized command center. So the cost of device is 4,000 to 5,000, and basically the one of the key point I want to emphasize is the beauty of any IoT solution lies in the basically its economical value. So because since utility has got a vast fleet of distribution transformer and assets, so just to have the more penetration of this technology in this space, what we need is a very frugal and a low cost IoT solution that will be very helpful for the asset management. That are basically my few thoughts and insight related to the two key technologies. So just before ending, I will just also want to share some of our operational experience we have gained while adoption of the new technology. First, any new technology should be robust and reliability. Any utility, and of course TPDDL, it operates in a regulated environment. So like for every asset, there is a very defined useful life of every asset. So like if will be any premature failure of the assets and the technology, it results in the huge financial losses. It will hurt our return on equity, plus it will enhance our OPEX and CAPEX, and ultimately all these things has got a direct and indirect impact on the customer tariff. So whenever we just go for a new technology, first we also ensure that it should be robust and reliable. The second key part is like it should be integratable with our existing technology ecosystem and the landscape. Just like I was talking about our ADMS, so like it has got a flexibility wherein any new IT or OT technology and solution can be integrated. So like we have got a very integrated platform for the entire substation monitoring. The third aspect, which is very important these days, is basically related to the cyber security. Like there should be a provision of inherent this intrusion prevention system, intrusion detection system in the new devices, so that we have got a very secure and a reliable substation in the network. So like that's all from my end, and like I'm open to any questions.